the daily edition of Market Wrap with Mo Ansari.
Brought to you by Compact Asset Management,
Providing proactive portfolio management and world-class wealth management solutions.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Market Wrap. I'm Mo Ansari, president of Compact Asset Management, and you're tuned in as you've been doing so for 2 decades now. And as always, you can call in, and I will be more than happy to share with you my 33 years of trading experience. For the next few minutes, hold your calls. On our guest line is Mr. J.D. Roth. He's author of Your Money, The Missing Manual. Mr. Roth is also the creator of GetRichSlowly.org, an award-winning website named the web's most inspiring money blog by Money Magazine. Mr. Roth, welcome to Market Wrap.
Thanks. Glad to be here, Mo.
In your book, you outline 14 guidelines of financial philosophy. The first is financial success is more about mastering your mental game of money rather than understanding the numbers. What do you mean by that?
Well, what I mean by that is, for the most part, basic personal finance boils down to one essential equation, and that's you've got to spend less than you earn. And I think everybody understands the math behind that, but it's not the math that's difficult. It's actually putting that into practice. We're human beings are complex creatures. We're full of emotions and psychological issues, and we're led to spend for family, for love, and for all sorts of other things. And so it can be very difficult to reconcile sometimes our psychological motivations with the basic math that we understand.
So it's more of an emotional problem rather than a numbers problem.
I think it is. And I think one of the challenges is in order to take control of your finances, is to take control of your emotions and your psychology. For many years, I struggled with debt, and I know that many, many people struggle with debt, especially in this economy. And I think that by overcoming the emotional issues that I had, or overcoming the psychological need to spend, helped me get out of debt, and I think it can help other people too.
So that's it's spending less and making more, trying to make a little bit more than that. Your book also talks a lot about goal setting. Why is that so important?
I think goal setting is vital. From my experience, both in my own life and talking with a lot of my readers at GetRichSlowly.org, and talking with my family and friends, the people that I see who are successful with money are the people who actually set goals and say, this is what I want to do with my life. I want to get out of debt. I want to save for my children's college education. Or I want to travel the world, perhaps. When you have a goal, it gives you some direction. It helps you understand that you're not, the money you bring in has a purpose. And if your money has a purpose, it's easier to spend wisely than to I guess if you don't have a goal, it's very easy to go off and buy a new iPad just because it looks cool, you know.
Why do people do this? Why do they take all of their money and put it into tech stocks when they know they're at an all-time high? Why do they take all of their money and chase the real estate market? They'll let me buy 10 homes and flip them because I'm going to get rich tomorrow. Why do people do that rather than sticking with a plan, a diversified portfolio, and making the adjustments along the way?
You know, I don't know. That's a great question. That's something that I'd love to look a little bit more at. But from my perspective, I think they do it because...
Emotions again?
It's emotions. And, you know, when somebody tells you, as I do in the book, Your Money, The Missing Manual, that it's hard work and patience. If you're willing to spend a few years at getting out of debt or saving for retirement, that you can actually do it.
In your book, Your Money, The Missing Manual, you have an overview of estate planning, which outlines some of the documents included in an estate plan. Let's talk about the different items that go into an estate plan and how individuals decide what needs to be included in theirs.
Sure. A will, I think, is your most basic estate planning document. And I think that if you've got anything that you want to set aside, leave for anyone, this is appropriate for your situation. And I know that many people think, you know, I don't need a will. I'm young. I'm 25. I'm 26. I'm 27. Whatever. And I don't have that much. But if you have kids or if you have a special situation, you absolutely need a will. A living will lets you tell your family what you want to do if you're incapacitated or terminally ill. And this is the kind of thing you need if you're going to be on life support.
Right. In California, like where I'm sitting right now, it could take as long as a year to a year and a half if you have a will. Wouldn't a trust be better, where it bypasses the will, it bypasses probate, and it automatically is done?
In general, yes. Especially, I think the older you are and the wealthier you are, the more likely you'll benefit from a living trust. A living trust will help avoid some of that the lengthy court process, and will help make sure that what you want to have happen with your money and your assets occurs.
Let's talk about Chapter 12 of the book, which is an intro to personal investing, which
Right.
explains many different investment vehicles, the pros and cons. What do you think is the most important thing for a brand new investor to know?
I think the most important thing for a brand new investor to know, I think they need to understand that long-term, I think they need to understand the long-term returns of various asset classes. So, for example, over the long term, and I'm talking 20, 30, 40 years, stocks in general have high returns of about 9 to 10%.
Right.
Now, obviously, we have huge swings in the market. So you've got cases like 2008 where the market's down, 40%, and then you have 2009 where it's up 40%.
Right.
Even though the stock market has an average return of 9 to 10% per year, that doesn't mean it's always going to hit that. There's going to be these wild fluctuations, and then you need to think about it in the long term. They need to take a long-term vision.
JD, you have also a great chapter on retirement, which includes a section on choosing a financial planner or a broker. Is your opinion that what is the most important consideration? What are the things that people should look at when they pick a planner or a broker?
Well, I think one of the most important things is you pick somebody that you feel comfortable with. That I think it's important that people sit down and they talk with the planner or broker and see if you're on the same page.
Problem, JD, I hate to interrupt, but the problem is everybody, when you go in, gives you a sales story that sounds so great, they're going to tell you how they're going to make you rich. How do you differentiate one from the other? Should you ask, hey, why don't you show me an audited track record and show me what your accounts have done, all of them over the last 5 years or so?
Well, you can do that, but one thing to watch out for is past records are no guarantee of future results, obviously.
Right.
So I think that, again, the more educated you are, if you have an understanding of what you want to do and what different investment classes do, different asset classes,
right,
you'll be better able to have an educated conversation with a planner. And,
right, but if the planners lost money, they lost 50% or 60% in 2008.
That would make me wary.
You know, but they don't tell you that. They tell you how great they are and how wonderful
Sure.
they are. But if somebody told you, look, I lost 60% in 08, but I'm a really nice guy, and you like the person and you agree with them, so you give them the money. But if you don't like the 60% loss and you still like the person, maybe you want to go to another person that can show you, okay, I didn't lose 60, I lost 20 when the market was down 40. And then the year after the market was up 26, I made 20, or whatever. So you can see that they've had some measure of success. Doesn't mean at all in the future that they're going to continue to do it. But if somebody has done something in the past, there's a good chance they might be able to do it. But if somebody has blown up previously every time, what are the chances all of a sudden they're going to get better next year?
Well, that's a great question. And I think if somebody's blown up all the time, I would steer clear too.
But how do you know that if you don't ask for an audited track record?
I don't know.
That's
what you got to do then.
Exactly. That's why I'm really a big proponent, maybe in this new regulations we've got coming out of Congress, if they can put in that one little thing for the Consumer Protection Agency or whatever they're setting up, that the consumer can, the average person, the institutions, the large institutions, they get these audited track records. They know the deviation factors. They know all of the different things of a manager before they give the money to them. But the average investor just doesn't get that chance. All they do is get a great sales pitch, a slap on the back, and how great they are, how great he is, and don't worry, you're going to get rich. And they get sold a whole bunch of 2 annuities and call me in 10 years, or buy 2 REITs and call me in 10 years. Your book really covers the issue of money in every stage of life, so it's perfect for the listener of any age. But some sections, like savings for retirement, may seem to them that they don't something that they don't worry about right now. There are a lot of people just don't worry about that. Do you think that it's ever too early to start planning for retirement?
No, I don't. I wish that I had started planning much, much earlier. I think one of the problems, and again, this gets to the human side of the equation, the psychology and the emotions, is when we're young, we think, we've got 40 or 50 years until we retire. Why do we need to worry about it now? Mm-hmm. And yet...
the magic of compounding is with you. If you start early, it makes such a big difference.
Compounding is awesome.
Exactly. Mr. Roth, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule and being with us today and sharing your thoughts on this great book, Your Money, The Missing Manual. Thank you again for being with us.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's Mr. J.D. Roth, the author of Your Money, The Missing Manual.